Hi there, Victor Pross speaking to you, Anarchist Artist. Okay, today I'd like to deal with the issue of objections to anarchism. Objections to anarchism. And it's really important to understand that a lot of these objections are of a practical sort. And I always encourage and remind myself, for that matter, to keep the moral argument front and center. Whenever you're in a clash between an individual who is attacking and belittling or just downshooting your principles as a voluntarist or anarchist, it's important to keep in mind that any contrarian views to that are usually of a statist nature. It's important to understand the difference between advocates of statists and advocates of anarchists, especially of the ANCAP sort, is the difference between violent coercion and peaceful cooperation among individuals. It's the difference between violence, slavery, and freedom and peace. It truly is. That is the nature of the clash. When you are a well-spoken, articulate anarchist, and you are making yourself perfectly clear of the principles that you espouse, of the non-aggression principle and freedom and peace, and you've repeated them constantly in every type of variable and every type of way of painting the picture, of making yourself absolutely clear beyond a shadow of a doubt of where you stand on these issues, and people who attack you without any type of critical inquiry, but curious and respectful in the hopes of finding out some truths. Just those people who just want to shoot you down, with contrary arguments. It's important to understand, what the ethical divide is, what they're advocating in the long run. So if they want to make the case for violence and coercion, it's not me that condemns them. They condemn themselves by their own actions. So let them speak their objections, and make your position absolutely clear. And let it all be seen for everybody to know what the issues are. Let them speak. Let them speak their bloodlust and their violence when they're opposing your clearly defined principles. Let them shine. Let them shine. Oh, that's all I can say. Okay, but some of the objections that we do come across, which was posted in the Peace, Freedom, and Prosperity Movement website. Can't deal with all of these objections in one video, but just to let you know what some of them are. All right, and this individual writes, "We will let you opt out of paying taxes when you agree to, number one, don't drive on the roads paid for with tax money. Number two, don't walk on the sidewalks paid for with tax money. Don't breathe the air that is kept breathable with tax money." Breathable, okay, I guess clean, right? That's the idea, that's the word, right? Don't use any medical device or procedure that was created through the expenditure of tax dollars doing research. Don't walk around freely speaking or writing, which is the right paid for with the blood of Americans and tax dollars. Okay, become totally self-sufficient. Make your own clothes, grow your own food, build your own house from trees you chop down on your own land after you've fought to the death for that land with every other greedy, narrow-minded, subhuman slime that has crawled out of the right-wing gutter. Okay, so this is posted on an anarchist website, voluntarist anarchist website. We've been lumped with right-wingers. Okay, so we know the level of this person's education already. But I can't deal with all of these objections, but just to deal with a few, and maybe I'll do another video to deal with them all to make it a complete package. But I'll just cherry pick the ones that I find interesting to answer. Okay, don't drive on the roads paid for with tax money. Well, the tax money, you have to understand, when you say tax money, you have to understand what taxes are. Taxes are the extraction of the sweat and toil and productive energies of people. The tax money is theft, and it's backed up by a threat of, or actual cases of violence, or the threat of violence. Okay, are you sure? This is what I want to ask this person. Is this the type of thing that you're okay with? Because we all have the privileges of riding around and traveling. But the same objections that comply to what about the roads can comply to a lot of other government services that are imposed. Okay, we are a people. Okay, there is such a thing. It's important to pick up a book once in a while and to really research these things before just trotting out objections as an emotional knee-jerk reaction. If you studied, let's say, ethical philosophy, that might be a good start. Okay, because I do put that first and foremost. But maybe something about the free market, and how the economy and how individuals work might help. Okay, there is such a thing, first of all, as the division of labor and specialization. Okay, and there's also the free market of supply and demand. Okay, so here we are in an industrial civilization. We want to get around and be able to travel to homes and to businesses, and businesses would like people to have means to get to them. So there is such a thing as that, hey, how about we lay down some dirt and gravel, and we've not through any kind of government action, though, just free-thinking individuals who happen to be brilliant, who comprise the market, who actually are producing shit. They came up with this thing called the automobile. That was an invention. That was the collaborative efforts of people who are producing things, not government officials, political pundits, and other cult of personality types. Actually thinking, producing individuals made the automobile. So, we have another problem here. How are we going to, get around freely without just turfing on mud and dirt? So let's get this issue of gravel and put it all together, and maybe we could work something out. In other words, what I'm saying is that the issue of travel, if there is a need, a demand, there will be a supply, because there will be people who want to make money and extend their creative energies and their absolutely brilliant way of thinking. There's people. The fact that we have an industrial civilization is nothing short of the sheer result of thinking individuals who discovered the scientific principles to actually to make the machinery and to sort the blueprints out, and all of this is okay. It's an enormous expenditure of energy and thinking that made this possible. And so if the government imposed it, and we give all credence to them because they made it possible, is not to say that otherwise it would not have been possible otherwise. That's the argument for that, as far as a practical argument goes. Okay, don't breathe air that is kept breathable with the tax money. Okay, short reply is, I guess you're talking about the military-industrial complex. Okay, that shoots out more pollutants than any private individual could, right? That calls for a greater elaboration, I know, but that's just a little touch upon that. Okay, don't walk around freely speaking or writing, which is the right paid for with the blood of American and tax dollars. Okay, this is just so unbelievably disheartening having to listen to these people sometimes. This whole thing about having the right to free speech, that our government gave us, all these freedoms and liberties. Well, you have to understand that freedom to act, freedom to speak as you will, is freedom isn't something that is given to you. Freedom is something that you're already born with. Okay, you can't. There's no such thing as a government official who's just another human being who says, "I have something for you." Well, what's that? I have your freedom. So I'm going to restrain from punching you in the face and imprisoning you and locking you up and taking your money, but only to an extent. Okay, I am going to do those things, but only to an extent, and to that part where I leave you alone. That's the freedom that I am giving you, and to the extent of which where I don't, I'm doing it for your own good. You see, so it's the best of both worlds. I'm using coercion against you for your own good, and to the extent that I leave you alone, I'm giving you freedom. Well, freedom is not something that can be given. It can only be violated. That's it. That's the only thing that we owe our fellow human beings is to leave them the fuck alone. All the other things that we do for them out of voluntary charity, if they happen to fall on hard times, we're actively doing something. We're not obligated to it. It's not a moral obligation. But I'm very happy that there is a philanthropic element within society. But the only thing the best thing that we can do for our fellow creatures as fellow human beings is to respect their freedom. That is the greatest humanitarian project that you can offer your fellow human beings. Okay, but the government officials, the political pundits, and the powers that be, the ruling elite, they don't offer anything. This is Victor Pross, anarchist artist. That's all I'll say right now. Pop Culture.